Rain continues to fall over the Bahamas and portions of the Caribbean. Your forecast starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. It is Wednesday, March the 6th. I hope you're having a great day. Coming up, we continue to see some heavy rain through portions of the Bahamas, other areas of the islands as well. We've got some high surf advisories to talk about, and then look at the rainfall forecast in your area over the next 5 days. As we get started, thank you so much for liking the video. We'll get right into what's happening across our area right now, then we'll look at the forecast over the next 5 days. But I want to start with this video off with what's going to be happening in the Bahamas at the present time. Thick cloud coverage over the islands right now. We're seeing some very heavy rainfall. Underneath this thicker cloud coverage right now, we have a front that has stalled out and that's bringing in some heavier rain. Let me throw that on for you right now, and you can see the heavier showers persisting over places like Walker's Key and Grand Bahama and Bimini and Abaco, Eleuthera, Andros, and New Providence, all areas that have seen some heavier downpours on this Wednesday afternoon. Let me take off the satellite imagery so we can just focus on the wet weather. Again, you can see the showers coming off of the southeast sides of Florida. We've seen a real blow up of some significant rainfall over portions of Grand Bahama, recording this late Wednesday afternoon. And look at the showers move across the island and basically cover up the island. It's a wet day, and even a few thunderstorms for places like West End and Freeport, Lucaya, High Rock, basically all of Grand Bahama seeing some rain. Same thing for Walker's Key. It's covered up as well. We've had passing showers through portions of Bimini. Andros is another area that has really seen a nice little blow up of showers, potentially even an isolated thunderstorm on this Wednesday afternoon, especially in the northern half of the island from Andros Town towards St. Andros. And some of that activity has now moved over New Providence and Nassau. It's been a little bit lighter in nature over the island here, but you can see some of the areas like Cable Beach and Old Fort Bay and South Beach area. That's a little too close, Rusty. Sorry about that. On over towards the Love Beach area, even Paradise Island, of course, where Atlantis is, all with the opportunity for some scattered rain to continue. And as I zoom this back out in a much smoother fashion, we'll continue to see these showers persist in these areas during the remainder of our Wednesday late afternoon, evening, and even overnight, because what's happened is this front has stalled and the energy from it is kicking through the eastern Gulf of Mexico, across South Florida, and then into the central and the northwest Bahamas. Even areas south towards Georgetown and Arthurstown will pick up some rain later this evening and tomorrow. And I'll have much more on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Let's get back out to the broad perspective here, looking at our satellite imagery. Let me get into another area that continues to see some rain. Now we're back into Puerto Rico. You see some clouds developing here and some thicker cloud coverage on this late Wednesday afternoon. We'll switch over now to the live Doppler radar out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'll take the satellite data off. It's spottier in nature now, but we've had some heavier rain through the northwest interior sections of Puerto Rico. Some of that activity slipping off towards the Arecibo area right now. Now look, when I zoom this back out, you're going to see that it's drier overall for the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and the eastern side of the Dominican Republic, especially towards Punta Cana, as far west as Santo Domingo, but not completely dry. And Puerto Rico will see more rain develop later this evening and potentially overnight, and then we get into some drier weather. But just wanted to show you again that there's some showers around the island, at least in some areas, on this Wednesday afternoon. Okay, now let's talk about what's happening just to areas to the east of there. There's one other thing I want to cover real quickly, by the way, for the Bahamas before I go across anywhere else. You see the thick cloud coverage out there. I want to put on now the winds. So I'm going to put on the temperatures first, and it's a rain-cooled 66 degrees in Freeport. It is getting cool with that rain, and it is getting windy. They've had a wind gust in Freeport this afternoon of nearly 40 miles an hour. So there are some good wind gusts coming in with some of this activity. So for Grand Bahama, we do have a small craft advisory, as you would expect. Seas are running 3 to 5 feet, but certainly much higher in and around the showers and storms in the open waters of the Atlantic. Winds are southeast to south for today. They'll swing out of the west. We may not truly have a north wind even tomorrow behind the front because, again, it's not a clean frontal passage, but surf and sea conditions should begin to relax as we get into our Thursday. But again, very strong winds from time to time, and these kinds of winds could slip down towards Nassau as well. So very breezy conditions there. Puerto Rico has had some decent wind gusts at the hour. You can see San Juan there near 30 miles an hour. Now, the winds aren't as significant in the northern side of the Leeward Islands from time to time. You can see there towards St. Bartholomew, we've had some winds of nearly 25 miles an hour in gusts. But this area continues to see higher surf and sea conditions. We had a high surf warning for the northern side of the Leeward Islands earlier this week. We still have a high surf advisory in effect through Thursday for Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat, St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, and the British Virgin Islands. Here are the hazards. Surf conditions are still running at around 6 feet. Now, they were up to 10 feet earlier in the week. They've come down a little bit. That's right around 2 meters. Seas running 5 to 7 feet or 1.5 to 2 meters. That's still going to lead to some dangerous rip currents. Beachgoers in these areas, please be very cautious. And during high tide cycles, we could at least see the opportunity for some minor coastal flooding. These conditions should begin to get a little bit better as we get past Thursday. Not a lot of rain in this area, very spotty showers. It's the same thing for the rest of the Leeward Islands. I highlighted Barbados earlier in the week because we had some good developing showers over the islands. We've still had some spotty rain today in these areas, especially towards St. Vincent and St. Lucia and portions of the Grenadines as well. An isolated shower has drifted over Trinidad and Tobago, but in general, the rain is not going to be as widespread as we go through the remainder of the week. Same thing for my friends in the ABC Islands as well. Again, very limited rain chances. We've had at least a light passing shower, but nothing significant. The bigger story for the ABC Islands for the week ahead is going to be the wind, and I do have the 5-day forecast for the ABC Islands on the way. For my friends in Jamaica, hey, I'm seeing some cloud coverage develop over your area here as I swing the satellite data over to that. And again, underneath some of this thicker cloud coverage on this Wednesday afternoon, at least the opportunity for a couple of showers. So let me know in the comments section below if you've seen some of the rain here in Jamaica. Again, it's somewhat spotty, but we've had a few showers develop here with the heat of the day and our southeast winds. It was pretty warm and muggy in Kingston today. Same thing for Port Antonio. And again, someone in the comments said, look, I live in Maypen. We don't really get a lot of rain, if any, in March at all. Let me know if you've caught some of the showers. There's at least been a chance here or there. Now, we're relatively dry for places like the Cayman Islands and then Central America and into the Yucatan Peninsula here. Some beautiful, images here with our visible satellite imagery. We're gonna go back over to the water vapor imagery. And again, you can see with this front, and it's very clear to see that energy kick right there, shoving the moisture across South Florida and into the Bahamas, and some of that moisture eking into the Northwest Caribbean. But generally speaking, we're drying out a little bit through most of our area. So now let's take a look at the rain chance over the next 5 days. And as we do so, again, thank you so much for liking the video. If you're not a subscriber, you want these forecasts across the Caribbean, the Bahamas, hit subscribe now. I'm sure the subscribers would let you know in the comments that they're getting a little bit of a benefit out of this, and we appreciate you a lot. So on this 5-day forecast here, I'm gonna let this loop up and we're gonna take a look at things. Need to switch this 1 second for me here. I was, right before I went on, I was looking at one other thing. So give me 1 second. Again, it's just gonna give you an extra minute to hit the like button if you don't mind. And again, I record these like we're going live. So there we go. So this is gonna loop up over the next 5 days. And we'll go island by island for you here. Now, starting off in Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. Very, very low rain chances, relatively speaking, after tonight in Puerto Rico. Could see a shower or two develop. A chance for rain is going to be less than 20% most afternoons. So if you have outdoor plans in Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, Santiago de los Caballeros, we're looking just fine. It's going to get a little on the warmer side as the east winds kick in. Now, again, is it going to be completely dry? No. Later in the week, the model does try and paint on a little bit more rain as we get into Saturday and Sunday, and especially on Sunday afternoon for the U.S. Virgin Islands and portions of Puerto Rico. So St. Croix and Ponce and other portions of Puerto Rico could see a few showers then. Again, I can't rule out a spotty shower with our easterlies, but there's just somewhat more shallow moisture in play for the northern side of the Leeward Islands, from Guadeloupe and Antigua and Barbuda. St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, included in that, of course, Anguilla as well. We might see a slightly higher chance for a little bit of rain the remainder of today for Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines and St. Lucia. Again, if I go back to this afternoon on the model here into the evening even, this is going to be this evening, I'll go back just a few more hours. You can see here that it tries to flare up at least an isolated shower over Barbados and St. Vincent and St. Lucia. But generally speaking, the rain chances will be going down, certainly from the more persistent rain that we had early in the week in Barbados. So the 5-day forecast for my friends in Barbados looks like this. The remainder of this Wednesday, a spotty shower is possible. Generally speaking, I'm going to dry us out to just a 20% chance Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Brief passing showers are possible, but mainly dry hours and locations. Surf and sea conditions look good as well. We're in the green. I'll monitor that situation. Back up to a 30% chance for a passing shower on Sunday. The warmer, humid air continues with daytime highs that will remain in the upper 80s. We'll see an isolated shower also over Trinidad and Tobago. But again, we're not going to get a big rain chance here as we move through the rest of the week and into the weekend with our easterly trade winds continuing. Now, for the ABC Islands, it's about the same scenario here. The model is trying to paint on a little bit of rain maybe later today, and then tomorrow you'll see a little flare up on Friday, but there's nothing of a consequence coming into the islands. The biggest story for my friends in Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao is going to be the strong winds. We could easily see the next couple of afternoons winds that go over 25 knots from time to time in the afternoon hours. So for the ABC Island 5-day forecast, 30% chance for a passing shower today, right around 90 for the daytime high. Windy conditions Thursday. I could have put that wording in the rest of the week. It will be windy in the afternoon hours, partly sunny skies, somewhat on the humid side, and a few brief showers entering the forecast over the weekend. Daytime highs anywhere from the upper 80s to even knocking on the door of 90 degrees. So again, relatively dry in this area. You can see a little bit of moisture trying to sneak off towards the west. Not a lot in the way of rain, though, for Central America, even towards the Yucatan, so Belize City. It's a relatively dry forecast here. Now, let's swing into Jamaica. I mentioned a few isolated showers this afternoon. It's going to be the same scenario the next few afternoons with our southeast winds providing at least the opportunity for a little bit of rain. But as you can see with this model running over the next 5 days, friends, you don't get a lot of green on the map. So spotty, light showers, boating forecast looks pretty good as well. I'll monitor that situation. But again, this is tomorrow into our into our Friday, which is the 8th, into Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th. Not a lot of green. So if you catch a shower, again, let me know in the comments section below. Now, of course, one of the areas that will be more impacted with rain is going to be the central and the northwest Bahamas. And I'm going to swing over to our different model here. It's a little bit, it's a nice high resolution model. It's a little bit shorter time frame, but that's okay for us here because the concentration of rain for the northwest Bahamas, including Freeport and Nassau, will be coming over the next 18 hours or so. So again, if I zoom this out just a little bit, look at the energy that's still being kicked in the southeast Gulf of Mexico from this frontal boundary that's stalled out. Waves of energy, waves of showers, and isolated storms. So for the remainder of this Wednesday, late afternoon and into the early evening, let me just get a little bit more centered shot for us here. I think it's a little bit better for us. All right, so when I put this into motion, watch again. More rain just trying to flare up and move through. Could be some heavier rain overnight for portions of Abaco, and then it's right back at it. Tomorrow morning could be wet and stormy. Look at the model here as we get into daybreak, right around 7 a.m. Look how Grand Bahama is covered right back up. Andros and Nassau covered right back up. And again, I mentioned it, the rain is able to move a little bit farther south, deeper into the central Bahamas. Now, it'll be more concentrated in the northwest Bahamas for the islands that I just mentioned, but it could be fairly wet for Wednesday. Again, this is even getting into early on Thursday morning, Friday morning. I'll get it right eventually, early on Friday morning, and look how wet it could still be across Grand Bahama. So this is an area that with enough rain could at least have an isolated flood threat. That's something that I'm going to closely monitor if we get enough waves of rain going across this area between now and Friday morning. Speaking of that, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at the total precipitation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch models real fast. So bear with me here. And then I'm going to take it out just to Friday morning, because I think it's going to give us a good idea here. So this is Friday morning. So between now, Wednesday late afternoon, and Friday morning, the opportunity for Grand Bahama and Abaco and Walker's Key to pick up well over an inch of rain, maybe over 2 inches of rain in some spots. And again, don't look at the bullseye and say, oh, that 2-inch total is going to miss Grand Bahama to the north. We're shaving things here by a few miles, okay? Certainly this heavier rain could be right over the island. We're already seeing that right now. I would imagine some of you might tell me that you've already had more than an inch of rain with the showers and an isolated storm that came through this afternoon. This is the total all the way through Friday morning. Certainly 2.5, 3+ inches of rain, a possibility for these areas, even portions of Abaco. The model is already underperforming what's happening in Andros and portions of New Providence. It has rained more in the northern sides of Andros than what the model is showing. Some areas of the New Providence area have had more than that. So the model is underperforming areas south of where it's already bullseyed. So I would imagine that we're going to get more rain there. As a matter of fact, one thing I can do real quick here is let me switch over to our more high-res model here and then look at the total precip. I think it's going to do a little bit better idea here. Yeah, you can see this higher res model picks up on some of the more significant rain. It might be a little bit too far south where it's already fallen in Andros, but also take a look at this, guys. I'm seeing this for the first time as well. Oh man, I mean, it's trying to paint on way more rain towards portions of Grand Bahama. So this is a story. This is a storyline between now and Friday morning. As energy gets kicked out of the southeast Gulf of Mexico, these waves of showers and storms come through. Just how much rain could the Northwest Bahamas see? You know, this HER model, which is a very high resolution, rapid refresh, updates every hour, is painting on some very significant totals through portions of the Northwest Bahamas. I'm going to monitor that for you, keep you up to date. Okay, let's get back over and take a look at the rest of the islands. Now, I bullseyed the Bahamas for very good reason. Let's go out a little bit farther in time, all the way over the next 5 days. And again, you're going to see a lot of blue, which doesn't indicate significant rain. I mentioned Puerto Rico already. Here's one spot again where we could have 3/4 of an inch, maybe upwards of an inch of rain over the next 5 days, but the majority of that falling between now and tomorrow morning. So again, some decent rainfall totals there. However, everyone else will see very spotty rain, okay? If we catch 1/4 of an inch of rain in Barbados and St. Lucia and Martinique over the next 5 days, I think that's a good average because it means that you get maybe 2 days of a passing shower, 1/10 of an inch of rain during those times. Very, very plausible. ABC Islands, again, relatively dry. And the same thing for my friends in Jamaica. I can't rule out some showers. And you can see there again, maybe the western sides, Mandeville. There's Maypen that shows you dry. So you might be right, my friend. But maybe towards West Warrenland Parish, a little bit higher, hillier terrain to the western side of the island, a spotty shower or two is possible. Friends, you can find us across all of social media. You found us on YouTube, and I appreciate that. We've got an Instagram page. We're on TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or video, mymediamundo@gmail.com is the best way to do that. Again, if you have a specific question about the forecast, drop in the comment section below. I'm absolutely happy to answer that. Thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to us here at Meteo Mundo. And if you're looking for more content, I have posted my initial thoughts on the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. You can find that right now by clicking on the My Suggestion. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, friends, and I'll see you soon.